Hey folks, welcome back. Today I'm going to do a little short demonstration on soldering. I want you to follow along with my flame size, what kind of flame I have, and what kind of solder I'm going to use. I'm going to use stick solder, I'm going to use Palian solders, and I'm going to use Palian solders that have been melted into a little ball. So these are my little chips I'm going to use, and then I'm going to use the same size chips, only these are going to be melted down. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a reducing flame, not an oxidizing flame. So watch this now. I see a lot of students, they come in here and they put a oxidizing flame on first, and it really starts frying stuff and breaks down everything. Use a reducing flame. A reducing flame is less oxygen. You got a little bit of that, see that little orange out there and how it's kind of wispy? Get that orange in there and then take the oxygen and back it out a little bit. So you still have the wispiness, but not oxygen. So, first thing I'm going to do then, I'm going to take some of these little guys right here, and they turn into a really nice ball with this reduction flame. If I was using an oxidizing flame, it's so much pressure coming out of the tip that it'd blow the balls over the side. All right, so there's my solder. Now we're going to go to it. These are the pieces that I'm going to be soldering. We've got our solder on. This is bronze. This is not brass. Don't work with brass. This is bronze just for the idea of for the demonstration. Bronze is much better for soldering than brass. It's very close to silver, so that's why I use it. I flux everything. See that? I put flux on everything. And as you see, I'm doing this on a grid because I'm going to probably do the entire operation from underneath. So each one's going to be a little bit different. I'll show you a different way to do it. Okay, here's my flame. Since I've got a pad, a steel grid underneath it, I got to increase my heat because the steel is a heat sink. So I'm going to go, the first one I'm going to do, I'm just going to go in and do the stick soldering. Now I used to do stick soldering exclusively because I wouldn't have to drop it around anywhere, and I wouldn't have to worry about when it starts heating that it starts popping off. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit this. I'm going to get it hot. Notice my flux. The flux is going to be, everything's going to stay clear. I'm heating the bottom, and then I'm going to take it over a little bit to the top. When I see that my bottom is starting to get hot, I'll bring it up until I think it's really nice and ready to go, and I'll touch it. And as you can see, this seals all the way around. It's a good solder joint. And if you noticed, I got in and I got out. That's the main thing. So we're going to take that first one with the stick soldering, and we're just going to put it aside. All right, the next one we're going to do is going to be with our balls. Now, I like using the balls in situations like this because the capillary action of a ball and a 90-degree trim will make the ball seek the corner. So you don't have to worry about the solder going somewhere or flowing on the bottom and not on the top. So here we go. I got two pieces. Notice that I'm putting my solder on the ends. I don't want a clump of solder going down the long run, and this is more than enough solder to make this work. So as you can see, the solder just stays right where it's supposed to be. Gonna heat this up the same way. Notice how the bottom plate is really getting clear, whereas the fence, the piece on top, you still have a little crystallization of the flux. It's just not getting as hot as the bottom. That's why I have to bring the torch to the top. When I see that it's just ready to start running, I'll get it hot and then I'll just kind of brush it. And as you can see, that just zaps it, and it really gets it a nice clean bead all the way around. Notice also that my flux looks like, my piece looks like this. Nice and clear. You don't want this. If you're soldering and you get this, stop, pickle, reflux, and start again. All right, we're gonna toss that one in. This next one we're gonna do, this is probably my preferred soldering technique because, and we're using medium solder on this. Works all the same with hard and easy, but I'm doing this with medium. I like this because solder, after you step on it, or make it into a ball, each time you heat solder, it loses a little bit of its adhesive qualities. So every time you step on it or pre-melt it, it's not going to be quite as strong as a virgin piece of solder. I guess that's what we can call it, a piece that's never been stepped on. I'm going to do the same thing. Notice that I like my solder leaning against both walls. That way, the solder can't make up its mind which way to jump. That'll work. Once again, I get it super nice and hot, both sides, everything's working. As soon as I see it start to flow, I hit it on the top, and there's a perfect bead all the way around. So that's it. I've got this one right here. We're going to throw this in the pickle, and we're going to look at the other two that we have that we've already pickled. This is what we have. 3 pieces used for box construction or any kind of construction you're doing on jewelry. Medium solder, 22 gauge bronze, Smith little torch with a number 5 tip. I hope this helps, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Hey folks, James Carter here. Sometimes I forget to ask people to like and subscribe to our videos, so please do, and it allows us to keep making them. Thanks.